This podcast presents information based in part on theory and conjecture. The host purpose is to suggest some possible explanation, but not necessarily the only answer to paranormal phenomena. We have not yet begun to touch the surface into these supernatural occurrences. With that being said, welcome to the Paranormal Journal.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Paranormal Journal. I'm your host, John Curley, and welcome to another night with me live. And I'm going to have my good buddy on tonight with me, Don Frank. What's up, brother?
Hey man, how you doing?
What's going on, bro?
Not a whole lot. How are you doing?
Oh, man, just doing it, man. Want to do this show tonight. Demonic possession, baby.
Oh boy, here we go.
Down the rabbit hole with demonic possession, right?
Yes, we are.
It's a big subject, man. You know, a lot of people are into this demonic thing. Like everybody wants to be a demonologist and cast out demons and stuff like that. What's your take on it?
Yeah, it's a pretty sensitive topic, I would say. It all depends on your belief, in my opinion. You know, if you come from a religious background and you have that spiritual belief of heaven and hell and whether it's angels or demons, then yeah, I guess you could say there is some form of demonic type possibilities out there. Um, Otherwise, there's really no evidence of that, though. You know, I have yet to see it.
Well, they did have one case that was documented by the Catholic Church, which was the case in Maryland. Well, everybody wants to say it happened in St. Louis. The exorcism happened in St. Louis, but the original possession started in Maryland.
Right.
Actually, not far from where I work, um, where I used to work. Anyway, it was right around the corner from where my old shop was, where the original exorcism started, where the possession started anyway, and that was in Mount Rainier in
Oh,
Maryland. And I actually passed that St. James Church all the time, man. Like if I'm headed into Washington D.C., when the boy first originally started being possessed, they took him to that St. James Church right there, right off
okay.
of. It's like right on Rhode Island Avenue. There's like a little roundabout right there now, and the St. James Catholic Church sits right off to the right there as you're heading in toward D.C. And I pass that thing all the time. Every time I pass it, I'm like, damn, that exorcism started here. Like,
Yeah.
this is where it
Yeah,
started.
I was gonna ask you how you felt about it each time you drove by,
It's a
knowing
weird
that.
feeling. Yeah, it's a weird feeling. Not many people know that. I mean, everybody thinks that it did happen in St. Louis, but it started in Maryland. It didn't, it didn't originate in St. Louis. They took him to St. Louis after, he started getting these weird writings on his skin, like scratches in his skin. I think it's spelled out like St. Louis or something. Spelled out Lewis on his
Okay.
stomach, and it was like etched into his skin. And they took it as a sign as take him to St. Louis because they had family in St. Louis, so they took him there, and that's where they met Father Bowdern and uh, took him to Lexington Brothers Catholic Hospital.
Okay.
And I actually just bought a book. I've been reading it. I really wanted to get into the real story and the real accounts from the priests themselves, and I bought this book called Possessed, and it's called The True Story of an Exorcism by Thomas B. Allen. And this goes into pretty good detail of what happened during the possession. A lot of
Hmm.
the stuff I haven't gotten into deep into it yet, but I'm starting to read it, and pretty interesting. And it does state like when he goes back in when it first starts in Maryland, and how his aunt was into spirituality and talking to spirits and stuff like that, and using the Ouija board, starting out using the Ouija board.
Okay.
And she kind of passes away, but things start happening while she's still alive. They start hearing these scratching noises and things like that. It's a really cool book. Just first getting into it, reading it, I'm like, wow, okay, this goes into a lot of how it really started. And
Right.
that's I really wanted to get. I can't wait to get into the parts when they're getting into the possession part when they're talking about all the things that happen, these supernatural phenomena that happen.
Yeah,
Like
I'd be
me and
interested
you,
in the details of that.
yeah, like me and you have been on a lot of cases, and we've had cases where people said they were possessed and things like that, but they weren't really possessed. They were just they had psychological issues going on, and
Right.
it wasn't to me, it wasn't a possession. I would think, if there's something possessing your body, a demon or the devil, that there's going to be some kind of supernatural activity behind it, and we didn't experience any of that.
Right.
I didn't. I just seen them flopping around on the floor and cussing at me and stuff like that, and spitting and just doing a bunch of really dumb stuff. But
Yeah,
that
and
doesn't constitute a possession.
no, no. I mean, obviously, those people had some mental issues going on that were causing them to act that way.
Yeah, they definitely needed some kind of psychological help and evaluation because and normal people don't do that. It's
No,
just you're having
absolutely
some
not.
kind of issues going on for sure, and that's a good thing. That some of these people that are doing demonology, they are getting into the part where they're bringing a they have a psychologist and they have medical assistants and stuff like that because you really need that because you don't really know these people and you're going to a situation that could be pretty volatile.
Oh, absolutely.
You start
Yes,
throwing, religious relics around and holy water, and these people start reacting violently to it, and they could kill you.
absolutely can kill you. You know,
One of them has a knife or something, or a pair of scissors, or who knows what the hell they could have.
yeah, it's a really, like I said, sensitive subject, but it's also very serious in the process.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me over the years if I believed in it, and at first I did, and then I'm a Catholic, so if you believe in God, I guess you got to believe in the devil. But over the
Right, because
years,
you can't.
I've seen a lot of different things that kind of I don't know, kind of not made me believe that there was. But now that I start reading a lot more things and get into, and I've talked to more people about it, and we didn't really know a whole lot of people that were possessed or what we've seen was basically what everybody else sees on what's on TV or a movie
Yeah,
or
right,
I
and as,
mean it's
and as far as we know, most of our cases we had didn't really
yeah
involve any of that. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
yeah you kind of cut out for a second there. Yep, I hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I just say most of our cases, we didn't really have any of that.
No, we didn't. It's just like okay, we got a haunting going on, and I mean we did get into some pretty really weird cases at one point,
Yeah,
especially like I was just asking about some of the audio you had from New Cumberland. That was a weird case.
wasn't it?
Yeah, and she was going through, like a post traumatic stress disorder and stuff like that, and the activity was pretty increased in there. I mean, we experienced a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and with people who are, as far as I'm aware, with people that are going through that demonic possession, they're going to have that sort of stuff happen to them where they're physically being attacked, not only physically, but like I said, but emotionally. Like it's going to try to break them down as much as it possibly can.
Yeah, like a depression, then an obsession, then oppression, and then finally possession. I guess
Correct. Right.
possession is the final straw. The final straw that broke the camel's back, and then boom, there it is. Now you're possessed, and I don't know. It's a weird subject. I'm going to have a priest on, actually an archbishop with the Catholic Church. I was supposed to do the interview last week, but I got caught up with work and doing things, and I didn't have time to really get into it to talk with him. But I'm definitely rearranging my schedule around to get him back on the show because he's ordained from the Catholic Church to be an exorcist. He's in the Order of Exorcists, which is really cool. He just wrote a book actually that's coming out about some of the stuff that he's done. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, man, and some of the stuff he said that the first time he ever experienced something demonic, he actually defecated in his pants.
No
Like
kidding.
literally, yeah, he
Wow.
literally defecated in his pants. Like you know, I would too.
Wow.
you,
Yeah, I
you
guess
see a
so.
if I see a levitation, I'm gonna be like, "Whoa, dude, what in the hell is that?"
Yeah,
You know,
that's
that's
crazy.
freaky.
Yeah, I'd like to hear
We've
his
never seen anything
opinion.
like that. You know,
No, no, we haven't. I like to see, and hear
never.
the experiences that he's had.
Yeah, he's gonna talk about him. He definitely just wrote a book, and I don't know if it's out yet or not. He was talking about it coming out. I don't know if it's out yet or not, but if it is, I'm definitely gonna buy it. I want to check it out because I'm definitely interested in the whole demonic thing. Not quite like some people. I mean, they have like a demonic hotline and possessed hotline, and
Oh boy.
it's a really touchy subject with people because some people get really pissy if you have an opinion toward it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't really believe that there are demons, and then they start this whole spiel of you're wrong and they're right, and it's not about who's wrong or right. It's about the evidence in the case. You know?
Right. And me personally, it's something that I can't rule out. And that's just my opinion about it. But like I said, we really haven't had, you know, much to go by right now that
No.
proved me that way. So, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be proved. I, some people was like, yeah, you don't want to see these kind of things, and I'm like, but yeah, dude, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this
Right.
stuff. I'm here to
Right.
experience this kind of stuff. Do I want to be possessed by a demon? Hell no, I don't want to be possessed, but I want to see the phenomena. If it's
Right.
really real, I want to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
I
why we
want I
do
want to
this.
check it out. Yeah, I want to check out the phenomena. I mean, it's probably going to be scary as hell. I mean, you see some of these people on TV, doing possessions like these priests and stuff, and some of the looks these people give you, man, it'll creep you out, dude. You
Yeah.
know?
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're throwing holy water on them, and you got religious relics, and you're putting it on them, and they're starting to freak out, and you're like, whoa, dude, what the hell?
And especially, yeah, especially when they start talking in, some kind of weird language.
yeah, some kind of
It's gonna,
different language. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, there's going to be some kind of phenomena behind demonic possession. You know what I mean? It's got to be.
Right.
It can't be just a person. You throw holy water on them, and they're spitting and cursing and this and that. It's got to be more than that. You know what I mean? They have to be able to prove. You have to be able to prove without a doubt that this thing is demonic. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree. Yep.
Yeah, like some kind of supernatural phenomena has to be occurring for you to say this person's possessed. Now we've had a couple cases that we've had ourselves that where people said they were possessed, and we went in and they weren't possessed. They were claiming they were possessed. They're like, oh man, wait till it gets dark. You're really going to see the possession happen. I'm like, it doesn't matter what time of day it is. If someone's possessed, they're possessed. You know what I mean? And I don't care if it's day or night.
Oh yeah.
Even in the book I've been reading, possessed, the true story of an exorcism. He was possessed during the day too. It didn't matter. He was possessed day, night. It happened when it happened. And this took a long time for these people, these priests to exorcise this demon out of this boy. A long
Yeah.
time.
And to me, it's not like it's just going to go away. If he or she or whoever it's going to be, if they're possessed, it's not something that, maybe it'll go away at nighttime or, during the day and it'll be all right for some time. No, to me, it wouldn't work that way. You know, that person would be completely under control of the demon or demonic activity itself. Uh, it just wouldn't simply just vanish all of a sudden. But and then too, if they were possessed, to me, you would see signs of that. You would see like they would have issues with holy water or the cross. You know, if the cross was anywhere near them, they would freak out or you just go crazy over it. Um, or even, certain words from the Bible itself should bother that particular person.
It's just,
It's just
that
things like
reminds
that.
me. Yeah, I mean, that reminds me of that one case we did where we were reading Psalms and we out of the Bible and we had that really foul smell in that house. Uh,
Yeah,
and
that's yeah, and that's
that
something
was
else
weird.
that's yeah,
I've never had that ever happen again in any case we've ever done in the last 20 plus years. We've never had that happen again. Only in that case,
yep, and
and
that
that's weird,
was
right?
right, and from what I've read, researched, that is one of the signs supposedly of demonic activity is rotten smells like rotten flesh,
Yeah,
things of that nature.
it smelled. I don't know if you were in, if you investigated that case. Well, I can't remember if you went to that
No,
case
I
with us.
no, I was not at that one.
Dude, that was a case that was kind of like borderline possession with the daughter. Um, I would think it was borderline possession because she was going into these trance-like states. The father seen her talking to this dark figure. Uh, the daughter actually locked him in the basement at one point and tried to attack her younger sister with a pair of scissors, and the father actually had to break the door down to get the scissors away from her. He said, and
Wow.
when he had grabbed her, it wasn't her. Like he grabbed her, grabbed the scissors, and turned her around, and her eyes were like black. He said they looked like they were black. Her pupils were totally dilated to the size so big that they looked black,
Yeah.
and it wasn't her. And the stuff that happened to us in that investigation was really weird. None of us got hurt, but we heard disembodied voices. And he said whenever he read verses out of the Bible, like Psalms, that he would get this really putrid, foul smell, like a dead body.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'll be damned if it didn't happen. At first, when it happened to two other investigators that were sitting on the kids' beds, and I didn't smell it. I was only maybe like 3 or 4 feet away, and I didn't smell it at all. But they were like, "Oh my god, that's like wretched. What the hell is that?" I was like, "I don't smell a damn thing." I didn't smell.
Yeah.
I was literally like 3 or 4 feet away, not far. I'm like, I don't smell anything. As I started walking over to him, now I wear. You remember that? I wear a Saint Michael's medal. So when I
Yes.
started
Yep.
walking towards him, they said it was gone, that it disappeared. And my St. Michael's medal is blessed. As a
Hmm.
Catholic, I had it blessed when I was confirmed into the Catholic Church. So, uh, did that make it go away when I walked towards it? Maybe that medal made it disappear. Go to get away from them.
And
But then
to
uh,
go
that's
ahead.
what I thought originally, right? But then it went away. We searched the house for the drains and made sure there wasn't any kind of some kind of septic or something coming up out of the sinks or sewer system. It was nothing. We couldn't explain it. And yeah, I mean that's what our job is, to go and check these things out. Are we experiencing something demonic? Or is it some kind of stench coming out of the toilet or the sink? So we were running the water, flushing the toilet, see if something was coming up out of there. Nothing was coming up out, and we went back into the kid's bedroom, and Diana started reading Psalms again, and this time I smelled it. This wretched smell, like decomposing body. It smelled like a decomposing body. It was pretty gross. And we were just like, whoa, man. I was like, what the hell is that? And Diana smelled it. I smelled it. It was pretty wretched. I mean, it did smell like a decomposing body. And I actually stood up because I was sitting down and I stood up. I was like, man, I don't know what that is, but it's pretty terrible. And when I said that, it was gone. I mean, instantly, dude, it was gone. When I stood up and said that, it was gone. But then I heard a
Wow.
disembodied voice right after that. It said nuisance. It said like almost like we were a nuisance reading out of that Bible, reading Psalms from the Bible. I was like nuisance, and I was the only
Yeah.
one that heard it, and it freaked me out a little bit because it was right after all that happened, and I'm like, man, I just heard a voice say like nuisance, like we're a nuisance or something like that. And I'd asked them, I said, did you hear it? And they're like, I didn't hear anything. And I'm like, "Dude, I'm telling you, I heard a voice say nuisance. Like it was a creepy sounding voice, like nuisance. I was like, whoa. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe none of them
Yeah.
heard it, but I heard it. But I was plugged in as well, so you know how that is. I always hear everything plugged in. So and I heard it, and I got it on recording too, which was even better that I captured it. And it just had so many weird things. Like it was saying cuss words at us. At one point, I think Chris was in the hallway and he heard someone like tell him to get the f out of the house. You know what I mean? Like get the f out of here or something like that. And
Yeah.
my extension cord caught on fire.
Wow.
Um, yeah, dude, it's when I remember when I first bought that enclosed trailer. We were inside and Chris come running in and he's like, "Dude, your trailer's on fire." I'm like, "What?" Dude, I can
Whoa.
run outside,
Yeah.
man. The whole trailer is on smoke pouring out of it. I'm like, "What in the hell?" So I hurry up and run
Wow.
and disconnect everything. And sure enough, man, the cord, and I had a heavy gauge cord, and it was melted. And I'm like, this is low voltage cameras. Like these cameras are low voltage. They don't take a lot of power.
No. No, they
So,
shouldn't have done that at all.
and we didn't have a whole lot of cameras ran in there because the house was really small. Uh, it was really weird. And it was just, I mean, it was melted, man. I mean, melted. If we'd have waited a little longer, the trailer probably would have burned to the ground. And that's no
Wow.
kidding. Yeah, it was weird. I had to throw the whole cord away, get another extension cord because it was just so melted. I'm just like, why? And it was a brand new cord. It was 100-foot cord, and it was a heavy gauge cord for construction because I'm a construction worker, and it was just destroyed, and I could not make sense of it whatsoever. It only do that if it's overloaded.
Absolutely. Yeah. 'Cause there's no
If you
way
have
that
too
that.
much, yeah, if you have too much power running to that, and there's no way those cameras are putting off that kind of power.
No. No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Dude, you were an electrician."
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I'm like,
Those
"There's
little
no
bitty
way."
those little bitty cameras wouldn't do that.
No, no, not throwing off that kind of power to overload that extension cord. I'm like, I only have 4 cameras running. How in the hell did they burn up like that? It was weird, man. Totally weird.
But it's interesting that you're having those kind of things going on in that particular case. You get that smell, all of a sudden the cord, gets melted. I don't know. It seems just very unusual.
Yeah. And then we were seeing, we're having these invisible things cussing at us or cussed at Chris. But later on in the night, I was sitting on the couch with one of the investigators. It was probably around 3 o'clock, about 3:30. Oh, excuse me, damn. Talking about 3:30 made me yawn. But yeah, like yeah, it's like 3:30 in the morning, and I'm just kicked back, sit back on the couch, and all of a sudden, man, I hear a voice say my name, like just so clear, like John. Dude, I freaking sat up. They're like, "Did you hear that?" I was like, "Yeah, I heard it." She said, "You know what it said?" I was like, "Yeah, it said my name." She's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, it's definitely said your name." I'm like, "Oh man, what the hell, dude? What is this? Some kind of sign or something?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "Oh Lord, why did they say my
You
name?"
and you've been getting a lot of that lately too with these cases we've been having.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where it's
Maybe I don't. John's a common name, but I mean, Jesus, dude, like every case I go into, it's like you're hearing my voice, John. You know, the last time I said my full name when we were at the tavern,
yeah, when I heard that, I couldn't believe that. I'm like, it's
I
clear
said
as
my
day.
full name.
Yeah,
I said
I couldn't believe
John
that.
Curley. I'm like, what the hell? You
Yeah,
gotta
it's
be
like,
kidding me,
what do you have following you around?
dude. I have no idea, man. But I've had so much weird shit happen over the years. You're just like, oh my god. When we first started doing it, remember I told you I called it disembodied voice right in my living room.
Yeah,
Uh,
I remember
I
that.
was like, "Is anybody here?" I was just messing with the recorder, and he goes, "Yes." I'm like, "Whoa, what? Oh no, I done brought something home."
Oh,
No.
jeez.
Yeah. Hey,
Don't
Bart, how you doing, man? Whispers John. Yeah, it's like definitely like whispering my name for some reason.
Yeah, I
When you
don't
first hear
understand
it,
that.
it's kind of freaky. You know what I mean? It's really kind of freaky because you're like, is this something bad or is it something good? Over the years, you get used to it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, because I know as long as you and I have been doing this, I don't think I've ever had my name called at all, but
No.
you have had quite a bit.
Yeah. Dude, like, and I've captured it on recording too, which is amazing. And
Y
how many Johns
yeah,
have gotten on recording? It's pretty amazing.
yeah.
I'm not going to get demonically possessed or something, you
I hope
know.
not. We have to start keeping an eye on you, man.
I'll start like eyes rolling around my back of my head, drown me with holy water or something. You know what I mean?
Yep. I have to dunk you in
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I think demonic possession is possible. I don't know. It's just kind of hard to wrap your head around an invisible force taking over your body. You know what I mean?
Right,
If to me, scientifically, it's not possible. But on the religious side of it, it's possible. You know what I mean? It's dated back in history of possessions and all the way back to before Jesus. You know what I mean? So I
oh,
mean,
yeah. I mean, it's been around forever.
yeah, and all different religions too. So it's not only Catholicism, but it's all different religions have possession. You know,
Right.
the book that I'm reading is pretty cool, man. Possessed is it's I like it because it goes back to the beginning. And I can't wait to get to the parts of the possession parts because I really want to see what supernatural really happened. I've heard a lot of things from like the Booth brothers. When I did a podcast back in the day, I had Chris Booth on. He did a documentary called The Haunted Boy. He was on my show, and he talks about you know a lot of the possession. And even himself thought that the thing started in St. Louis, and I was like, no, it didn't start in St. Louis. It started in Maryland. He said, no, no, it happened in St. Louis. I said, I know it happened in St. Louis, but it started in Maryland
Yeah, and I think most people probably also thought it was a female, if you think about it from the movie.
from The
Uh,
Exorcist. Yeah,
yeah. So,
and it
they
was a
probably didn't
boy.
even realize it. Yeah, they probably didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I mean that's and supposedly all the priests that were involved with this case with the boy being haunted, the possession. A couple of the priests, after the exorcism was complete, I heard they had went and they wanted to get more, get deeper into Catholicism behind that exorcism. It affected them that much.
Okay.
Yeah, it affected them that much that they wanted to get deeper into their religion, and so nothing like this could happen to them.
Yeah.
That's
Which is
pretty.
understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing you're gonna wanna do is get
Closer to
closer
God.
to absolutely,
Yeah,
you know,
to
'cause you
avoid that kind of situation. That's what I've read, like online and stuff like that. That they went into. I think one of them became like a monk. Yeah, went and became a monk because it affected him that much.
wow.
Yeah, that's scary, man.
You figure you could go into a case and you have somebody that's possessed like that, you would have to see, at least to me, all kinds of things happening, like the beds lifting up and down. They're talking, like I said, in multiple languages that you don't even understand. Uh, them just freaking out. It's just, to me, they would also have to have a fair amount of strength too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
To be part of it, to be able to do certain things.
that would scare the hell out of you. Somebody that's a kid that could throw like adults around with supernatural strength. That would scare the hell out of me.
Yeah, I mean, you would think about, like, let's say you have multiple people trying to hold this person down, and they just throw them around like they're rag dolls. That to me
Yeah,
is someone who's obviously got some type of demonic possession going on.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of fraudulent people out here that do possessions and stuff like that. That are demonologists, and they're about as much as a demonologist as me and you.
Yeah, yeah,
you know, I don't know the first
yeah,
thing about demonic things, but I do know a lot about supernatural activity. And if someone asked me to go to a house, and interview a client that was allegedly, possessed, I would be able to tell if they were possessed or not. That's for damn sure. There's going to be some kind of supernatural activity going along with, you know, what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, there'd be those signs that I was basically going over. I mean, that's all things that I'm aware of that are involved with some type of demonic possession
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I've ever, at least like I said, researched.
yeah. So
So
anybody, other people out there listening, if the people that are tuned in, if you want to join in the chat, come on in the chat and let's talk about some things. If you want something to talk about, you got something to get off your chest about demonic things, come in the chat. You call in and we can talk about it. It's me and Don. We're just talking about demonic possession, and we're just trying to get a grip on this whole demonic thing because it seems to be like the wave right now out there with a lot of paranormal groups about demonic possession and things like that. We've been doing it for 20 plus years and have never really came across anything like that. I think we've been lucky, you know.
yeah, we have.
Hey,
Yeah.
Linda's out there. Linda just joined in the chat. If anybody
Yeah.
else is out there listening, please join in the chat. You want to talk about some things maybe you've encountered with demonic things, then please, please join us.
Yeah,
Um,
I would like to hear other people's opinion about this topic too.
yeah, yeah, I definitely want to hear other. I'm not just single minded about possession. You know what I mean? Like, is it real? I'd like to have some people on here that have really experienced. Here we go. Linda's calling in. Experienced possession.
Yeah.
She came in there. Here we go. Hey, Linda, you there?
Yeah, I don't have any experience, so I would
You
like
have.
to if it was real or not. But I believe in the
Oh
spirits.
yeah.
I think,
You believe in them?
yeah, I think there's something there that,
Oh, definitely.
like, I mean, I saw this program once. It was, you ever this woman that went round sort of, she went with her husband, and they were in this place and they were doing this. They told them not to touch something else, something had happened. So they went in this circle and they tried to rile them up. So they did what she told them not to do. And the next moment, this woman heard this bloke screaming, and he saw scratches down his back, as if somebody scratched him down his back. And then next moment, she hears this other bloke screaming, and he's got basically marks on his neck, where sort of, and round his neck and stuff. And then another one, they all managed to get what was there, but he managed to sort of, don't know if it was an E or if it, but anyway, they all had marks on them that never
Now,
went.
now were they
Gone.
like three scratches? Like was there
There
just three
was
scratches?
there was one had a scratch right down its back. One had a scratch round his arm and round down his arm and stuff. And the other one had this one down his leg and stuff. So, and they were real because this woman was there and she saw all of them, with all these scratches on, because they touched this thing that they shouldn't have touched.
Right.
And the
Yeah,
minute they
that's like
touched that,
yeah, that's like
basically
one of
they
the
all go on. Sorry.
that's like one of the telltale signs of demonic possession is scratches, but they're supposed to be like three scratches of like mocking the Holy Trinity of the Holy Spirit.
What do you mean? He had three scratches down his back, and then
Yep.
the others had scratches. I'm not quite sure whether the others had three scratches, but he scratched with fingers all down his back.
Yeah, I've been scratched
And you
before.
could see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
Sorry.
scratched before, and I've been scratched before in an investigation. I didn't know what happened at first until Don actually pointed it out to me that I was scratched, and my face was scratched. It was actually bleeding a little bit. Didn't even know it.
Did you feel anything?
Not at
No, he
first,
didn't.
until
No.
afterwards, and then I was started burning after that. And I was like, "What the hell?" They're like, "Dude, you're scratched." I'm like, "Really?" It was a pretty big scratch. It went down the whole side
Yeah,
of my
I think
face.
Yeah, it's like these people that had these fingernails and were going scratching, So I think, and like there was another group of people, because I sometimes watch these, programs on telly. So just because I think there's something there. Anyway, so one day they went down this, what's it, cave or something, and they said they were looking. So they read these. What was it? I don't know quite what it was, but they had read something that would bring the spirit out of somebody that had died. So they read it, and this bloke all of a sudden said, like, the sweet I want to kill her. He was repeating it, but in this voice, he was like, and his voice had changed, and he was just staring, like as if he was possessed. And they got really frightened because he thought he was going to do something. Anyway, they called him, and he got out of it. He suddenly went to his old self,
Yeah,
but
that's
it
pretty
really
creepy.
unnerved them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm.
What part of the wow, what was that? What part of the world you're from there, Linda?
England.
England. Wow, awesome. Getting voices all the way from England over here, huh? That's great.
Yeah. Have you ever
You're
been
into the
to?
paranormal thing, huh?
Sorry. Yeah.
You like the
Um.
paranormal stuff.
Yeah. I've watched various things. Like, one day I was watching something where this girl was with this boy, sort of like a boyfriend, and she was in this bed, and he'd been wondering why she was getting up and sitting up straight and then going down again. So he recorded it. He put her on record, and so, like, on this record, she got on where she'd sat up suddenly with this strange sort of look on her face, how the eyes go and stuff. And
Yeah.
then she walked round in a state not like a normal, as if she'd been there. She walked round the bed and sort of touched him, like right round his, and he sort of suddenly raised up, and he thought she was. He said, what are you doing? So he sat up, and he was saying, "Get away from me," because he could see her eyes. They were with her. So, and she then suddenly sat on the bed, and then she suddenly snapped out of it, and she didn't even know what she'd done. She said, "What's wrong with you? Why are you so scared? What's the matter with you?" He said, "Didn't you know you were possessed? Well, you got up strange, and you were out like you're in another body." So yeah.
Wow.
And see, that's the other thing. It's like, because half the time they don't remember anything that happened anyhow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like they get some kind of weird amnesia after that. Like they have no idea what the hell happened.
Yeah.
Mm.
Totally weird.
So I
But
do
thanks,
believe. Sorry, go on. I was
yeah,
just
thanks
going
for
to
sharing
say,
that. That's great.
no, that's why I say I do believe there are things out there, because some of the stuff people couldn't make up, or it was because people would go out, like I saw one where they'd go out in prisons and stuff where they knew there was hauntings, and then you get this weird rattling because it was I used to watch a program like that because I thought it was fascinating to see what people would the things that had happened, and they did
Oh yeah.
happen. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't
Awesome,
think
Indy.
sorry.
How old are you?
Oh, that's a good question, isn't it?
You know you're not supposed to ask that question.
This is bad, isn't it? Give them
Well, I
a
figure
slap
the
for
older
me.
people, get to experience more things than we have. I mean, I'm almost 50, and Don, you're pushing 50.
Yep, we're getting there.
Yeah, my father's pushing 70 some years old, and he's experienced a lot of stuff. in his life too. So I think that's why I've experienced a lot of stuff is because whatever is hooked up with him is kind of rubbed off on me, and my brother experiences stuff too, and my daughter. So it's really weird.
Really?
Wow.
Some kind
What kind of stuff do they experience?
my brother had seen something in my mother and father's house. I seen something in my mother and father's house. Uh, on three different occasions, my dad seen something on the road, a ghost on the road. I seen what I think was a ghost on the road, and my daughter seen a ghost on the road as well. All three of us have seen the same thing on the road. It is really weird, unexplainable, totally
Yeah, you
unexplainable.
can't, can you, when they suddenly appear, sometimes they just, but people don't believe them, but basically,
Yeah,
ghosts and stuff. I'll
it's
tell
an
you what I did.
interesting subject,
Go on,
you know.
sorry. What I did find one day was I was watching this program and these police were getting these psychics, and they walked in this house where somebody'd been killed or been, and then they went to her things and sorted. Well, they went for the feel first because they didn't know where she was buried, where they'd left, where they killed her, and where they dragged her to. And it was amazing how she did a bit of sensory stuff, and she went right to the body and told them and found the body just by her senses.
Yeah, that's crazy. I
And
know
then, go on, sorry.
England has a lot of is a really old country, so they have a lot of paranormal things that happen in England and Ireland and Scotland, and I mean, oh my
Mm.
God, it's unbelievable. It's just some really cool hauntings over there.
Yeah, I would love to go over there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we have some spooky places. Yeah, I think we do. These.
Uh-oh. We lost
Uh oh,
Linda.
lost her.
We lost Linda. Yep. Maybe she'll call back. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, the demonic thing, it's up for grabs. You know what I mean? Is it real? I can't wait to talk to the Archbishop Archbishop Fry when he comes on because this is really gonna enlighten everything that we've thought about demonic things.
Yeah, and he's been around it, so he'll be able to give us, information that we're not aware of.
Yeah, he has been in the Order of Exorcists since 1982.
Wow. Okay. So he's been
Yeah,
around for a
so
while.
he's seen some stuff, man.
Yeah, and I'd be kind of curious to see what kind of things he's experienced. Like I said, and if it has any similarities to what we've experienced in the investigations that we've done.
Yeah, I mean, we've encountered some pretty high levels of paranormal activity that we've seen too. Not like it's
Right.
just been caught on audio. We've seen some pretty weird stuff.
Right.
Um, but what the hell is it? It was a. I definitely think that the one we did in Yorkhaven was something possibly demonic or negative, just because of that foul smell. I've never smelt that again in 20 plus years. Of us doing this. I've never smelt it again ever.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean? That
for it to
was
come and
just
go like
weird.
it did was kind of very unusual.
Yeah, I mean, it was like it just like evaporated. It was just gone in a matter of seconds. That stench was just gone. I mean, it smelled like literally like there's been a dead body that was laying outside in the sun for like 2 weeks. That's how
Yeah.
bad it was. It was pretty wretched. I was just like, my God, dude, this is terrible. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is it? And then it to just dissipate like in a skin it and it's just gone.
Yeah,
It's
that doesn't
impossible.
make any right. It makes no sense because like you said, if it was a drain, if people don't use run water down their drain for a while, you tend to get that the sewer gas smell up. But it would stay with you. It wouldn't just notice it for a few seconds and then it goes away. It wouldn't, doesn't work like that.
Yeah, yeah. So Woody's came in the chat room. Woody actually sent me some pictures of some stuff that he captured on his cameras, and it was a spider web. Woody, sorry, buddy.
Uh,
It was. Remember when we were at Duncannon and he wants to call him, and we captured that spider web on the camera.
Yeah. Yep.
It's the exact same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
See
I
if
have
Woody
it out
pops in
here
there. He didn't come in. What the hell? It didn't let him in.
because
Let me invite him.
they almost look like pearls, beads,
Yeah. Yep. Remember
spider
that's
webs. Yep.
exactly what. Let's see. Oh, I can't call it. Okay. That's exactly what the same thing on his pictures is. Linda's back. Um, she's trying to call back in here. If I can get her in there. Yeah, it
Yeah,
won't
because
let me click in.
I
Sorry,
had
Linda,
one of
it's
the.
not letting me click in here for some reason. What the hell's
Uh-oh.
going on? Woody wouldn't let him get in either. Huh. What's going on here? Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just like it had the beads on the exact same thing. And I was like, oh, dude, that's a spider web. Sorry, man.
Yeah, because I have one of those Ring cameras out back. You know what I mean? And I caught a spider like that. You can see the web, and it looked identical to what we caught at Duncannon. It's
Yep.
it looks like a pearl
Yep.
almost
It's like
hanging
pearly,
there.
like, yep. And it moves back and forth. And that's
Yep.
exactly what he had on there. But he said he has some more stuff, like worms and stuff. Yep. Yeah, it was, yeah, stuff definitely a spider web. I was like, ah, man, I was looking forward to something really cool, but it was just a spider web. I was like, damn. I remember when I first seen that, I was like, "What the hell is that, dude? Like, what is that?" Remember, we were like
Yeah.
baffled at what it
It,
was,
it
and
took us a
then we
while till we realized it.
remember the spider came down the web. It came down on the camera. I was like, "Oh, it's a spider."
uh, yep.
I was
Yeah, we
like,
didn't
"God
figure it
damn it!"
out till that happened.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to get you in, Linda, but it's kicking you out for some reason. I don't know why. It won't let you. It won't let me click into it. It's real weird. Um, but yeah, it was. That was an interesting case too. There wasn't anything demonic in there, but I'm telling you that your caving case was definitely something negative in there for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I couldn't understand that smell. That's just one of those. I've never smelt it again in all these years. Never again. I just I don't
That
understand
just
it.
makes that just makes it more interesting if you think about it.
Yeah,
Because supposedly demonic possessions, all that kind of stuff is kind of rare anyhow, from what I've heard.
yeah. I mean, I tell you what, man. I'm totally fascinated with the whole demonic possession thing. It's just the fact that something can take over your body and make you do these supernatural events is pretty amazing. I'd like to see it personally.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, "Well, don't you're gonna get what don't ask for what or you're gonna get what you wish for one day or something." What I want to see it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing this. I definitely want to see it. Yeah, yeah. Into the site went off. I don't know what happened. We're still on the
Hmm.
air though. Yeah, every time she calls in, it keeps kicking it out. I don't know what maybe it's because she's overseas or something. I don't know. Um, but yeah, the whole thing with what we do, and I just can't believe we all these years we haven't came across something that's really demonic.
Yeah. You'd think we would have, because we've had
Uh,
quite a few cases. You know what I mean?
We've had a lot of cases over the
Ton of
years.
cases. So you'd think we would have ran across it at some point.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. Like in all the years we've been doing this, I've never run across anything that was demonic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never.
Now, me and you've gotten a little freaked out in certain cases than others. Um, but that's not proof that it's demonic. It's just,
No.
it's
I
just
mean,
those.
you're in the dark and you're hearing voices and things are happening, and your tendencies are you're gonna get freaked out a little bit. You're in the dark, you know.
Right. Right.
It's your mind playing tricks on you a lot. Let's see if we can get Woody in.
Can you hear me now?
There he is.
There he is. Hey, Woody, what's going on? We got one in.
How's it going today, boys?
What's
Good.
going
How are
on,
you,
little
Woody?
bro?
Oh, just working away, working away.
How's it up there in Canada?
nice right now. It's fucking torrential downpour rainstorm twice today, and it's back to 15 or 20 degrees and sunny.
Jesus.
Hey, at least it's not snowing, right?
I
See,
honestly thought
15
it
to
was
20
gonna snow
degrees.
earlier. Like I'm in the mountains, and fuck, man, the sheet of rain that came in, I swore it was gonna snow.
And that is why I don't live in Canada.
Yeah. But we do get shitty weather here too.
We do.
Not quite as
Yeah, I
bad as
know.
those guys, but
I'd love to get you guys some more different videos and stuff. I'm all for trying to explain it right with something rational, and spider web thing makes complete sense for those those videos that I sent you, that sort of pattern. But like, oh man, I don't know. I've got your email. I'll send you a few here tonight, some
yeah,
different stuff,
definitely
and see
check
what you
them
think.
out.
Because I'm sure you've seen more than most, and if you can put a logical explanation behind it, I'd be happy to. But I can't at this point, other than the spider one. But you'll see the difference.
Oh yeah,
Lots
yeah.
going on.
We've seen them during the daytime, nighttime, uh, different colors. Seen some pretty cool
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, and especially like orbs and stuff. That's something. There's so many explanations for orbs,
Yeah, I
especially
mean, it could be
like what?
all
And
kinds of stuff like
I'm curious. I just
like
static energy, stuff like that.
yep. I'll give you one example right now because I have video running right now, and I can actually see dust flying around the rooms. And
Yeah, with
you can tell by the movement, and a
yeah,
lot of times it has a reflection to it, like it's like bouncing off, almost like a sparkle to it.
yeah. Like if you're in a room and you see an orb on a camera and you don't really see it with the naked eye, most likely it's dust. Because what happens is your camera is reflecting your light off your cameras, or your infrared is reflecting off of the dust, your dust particles and stuff. Like a lot of people, you see a lot of these paranormal shows, and they'll be like, "Oh man, that's a ghost. Look at that orb," or yeah, and probably 90% of the time it's just dust.
Yeah,
We seen light anomalies head on, and they produced their own light. They were
yep,
bright. They were
yep,
really bright.
these are similar to that, and like how some have really long tracers and how it like
Now that's
spinning
cool
like
when you get a
yeah,
looks like
tracer.
the
Yeah,
propulsion system, and like I don't know. It's really cool, interesting
y-
stuff.
yeah.
yeah,
Those
like
are the ones you want to look for.
yeah, ones that got like
And
tails and
like
stuff like
they
that. That's got energy
Yep,
Yeah,
to it.
man.
yep.
And like they come out like they get like there was a big party there, and they came out like crazy. It was like when the music was going and the lights went down, they were like excited.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we've seen them different colors like green and red. And I mean, you remember that one case we did down where we were in the basement, and I kept seeing that the lights, they were flashing all around you. I was like, "What the hell?" I
Yeah,
was like, "Dude," I'm like, that was in where the hell were we at? York, I think it was in York. And
yeah. I think it was there. Yeah,
yeah, man, they were like flashing right near you. I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" Like all over the place near you, like these little pings of light, like a camera was going off, like flashing, but they're real small. It was interesting. And then we seen the one in Landon House that was gigantic. It was like the size of a baseball, and then all of a sudden it got the size of like a beach ball. It was
yeah,
huge.
yeah.
It was. I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "What the hell?" I've never seen anything
How
like
long are you
that,
guys
dude.
on here for?
What's that?
How much longer are you on here for?
As long as I want.
Okay. Give me 5 minutes.
Yep, hour, 2 hours. Yeah, call back if you want.
I'm gonna send you an email here.
All right.
A couple.
Poor Linda, she's been trying to call in. It keeps kicking her out. It won't let her in. I don't know
Yeah,
why it won't kick her over now. It knocked her completely off of the site for some reason. She was
I don't
knocked out of
know.
the chat room and everything. I don't know. I maybe
That's
because
weird.
it's in England or something. I don't know.
Could
That's
be.
pretty cool though. We're getting people from England listening. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, get some
I
good
actually thought,
listeners all over the world.
yeah, I was gonna say something too about the whole orb thing too. It's not only that, but you got to watch for bugs too. Bugs will do the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah, like there's rods and stuff like that. All they think that they're calling rods, but they look like bugs, man.
Yep,
They look like just bugs that are flying really fast past the camera. You know?
yep, they will because they're attracted to that light, so they'll go
Yeah.
right towards it. So those are all things you got to be careful of when you're out there.
Sorry, Linda. Linda said, I give up. Yeah. Maybe next time I will get you back on here. I don't know what the hell is going on. They keep kicking her out of here for some reason. She tried to call like 5 times and it wouldn't kick over. I don't know why. Like I said, maybe it's because she's across the pond there. I really don't know. Kind of weird.
Yeah,
She was on here. I don't. It kicked her
some,
completely out of our chat room. I don't know why it did that. She had to come back in. I don't know why it
huh,
did that. It didn't do it to anybody else. Everybody else is still
no,
listening.
just a strange connection issue, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. But if anybody else is out there listening, you want to join in the chat, hey, come on in and call in. If you got some experiences with some demonic things, call in. We want to hear them. That's for sure. I want to hear as much as I can from other people about demonic things because I really don't know a whole lot about them, to be honest.
No, we like you and me both are in the same boat with that. We haven't had that type of experience, so
No, I mean, we've been involved with cases with it, but I didn't see anything demonic going on. Just seen someone that needed some psychiatric help, you know,
yeah.
which doesn't, it's not helping your case of saying you're possessed when there's nothing really supernatural going on.
And that's the important thing to just try to sit there and decipher between the two to figure
Yeah.
out what's going on.
Hey, Patero just entered the chat room. Yeah, I mean, if there's something, you got something demonic going on, there's got to be some kind of supernatural events, you know, in alignment with this possession. To me,
Right.
I would think. I think if the church was going to get involved, that's what's going to have to happen. You're going to have some really valid proof of possession, and that's
Hmm.
either knowing something that only you would know, in your childhood, you know, maybe
Yep.
something, they went back into the past and said something about one of your family members that only you would know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that you would
Right.
only know this event that took place, and they're bringing it up. There's been a couple really weird things that I've read, and oh, she says she can hear us. That's good. I'm glad you can hear us, Linda. Um, yeah, that I read this pretty famous psychologist. He was contacted by the Catholic Church to basically go on these cases and interview these people that were allegedly possessed by demonic forces, right?
Right.
So they hired this professional psychologist, and he's in the medical field. I mean, really, I think his name is Gallagher or something like that. I believe Richard Gallagher or something like that. I can't remember his name exactly, but he was evaluating these people psychologically if they were psychotic or they weren't psychotic. Um, so he said he definitely believes in demonic possession, and he's a doctor. He said there
Mm.
is real demonic possession. He
Yeah.
said that there was an event that happened where he was supposed to meet this woman. She was supposedly possessed. She was a devil worshiper at one point in her life. She was like a high priestess of demonic worship, and she became possessed. And the night before he was supposed to meet her, around 3 o'clock in the morning, they're awakened. Him and his wife are awoken by their cats. Their cats are going totally ape shit in the apartment, like doing things that are totally out of normal. They don't do this. They're
Yeah.
running around the apartment, hissing at things, going crazy, doing all kinds of weird stuff, and they just can't make heads or tails of it. Why these cats are doing it? So the next day, he goes and meets this woman, and before they even get started, the woman looks at him and says, "How'd you like the cats last night?" Now, how
Yeah.
in the hell would she have known that?
Yeah. Exactly. That's
You know what I
crazy.
mean?
Yeah.
That is weird, dude. That's
Wow.
weird. I would have been freaked out a little bit.
Yeah, I would say so.
Dude, I would have been like,
That's like,
how did you know that?
yeah.
You
Are
know?
you psychic?
Yeah, are you psychic or are you just you got a spy camera in there? And
Yeah.
he goes on about other things about this woman, and he's actually talking to the exorcist on the phone, and this woman's voice cuts in over the phone and says, "You can't have her. She's ours."
Hmm. Boy.
And the psychologist says to the priest, "Did you hear that?" And he said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Demons can do that. They can cut in over the line." And this woman was thousands of miles away. She wasn't like in a room with them. She was thousands of miles away, and her voice projected over the phone saying, "You can't have her. She's ours."
Yeah.
That's creepy, dude. And it
It
was
is
her voice. He
creepy.
said it was definitely her voice. And this is a professional psychologist, a scientist. He's a scientist. You know what I mean? It's not like he's some local yokel, that's going around pretending he's a demonologist or a psychologist. He's a real certified doctor. You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
Yeah.
and he believes in demonic possession. That's that's telling you something, dude. Like there's something else. Definitely something else.
Definitely.
I didn't lean toward there was demonic possession for a long time because we never really experienced it. So I'm like, yeah, demonic possession. Yeah. Just like I thought ghosts couldn't hurt you, but they can.
Yeah.
We thought that for a long time too. Hey, ghosts ain't gonna hurt you. Man. We never had nothing happen. But then we see a little girl dies. You
Mm.
know, and I can't explain that. I still can't explain that to this day. Something that says it's going to kill somebody's kids, and then one of their kids dies. That's either an omen or it's seeing into the future. Something's not right there. You know what I mean? That's not right.
No, it's not. It makes no sense.
Yeah, we catch a disembodied voice saying "I'll kill his kids," and then 2 months later, one of their kids dies of a heart attack. I
And
mean,
that one there makes me wonder too. You know, just the fact that you caught that and then that happened to her is just
yeah, and you
crazy.
know what? Here's even the wildest thing about that. They were seeing this woman in black with a veil, right? With no face, with a black veil, sort of like back in the day they would wear all black with the black veil at funerals. You know what I mean? Like the old
Right.
time
Yep.
dress giddy up.
Yep.
And after she passed, they didn't see her anymore
Hmm.
until
That's interesting.
recently. Now they're seeing her again. They're seeing her again, and it's really scary.
Yeah. So why all of a sudden is it back?
Yeah, exactly. Why
How?
is it back in the house? And oh my God, she just messaged me the other day, and the husband said she was walking towards him and then turned around and went the other way, and there was a black thing on her back, dude.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
like
not
this
good.
black. He said it was black, like on her back, and he
That's
screamed, and
very
she turned around, and it was gone.
that's very concerning.
Yeah, I
Just in
mean,
my
dude,
opinion.
it's creepy as hell. The house is creepy, man. Like I said, the thing cornered me in the bathroom when I was doing, it likes to get you alone, dude, and scare you, man. Like it knows what scares you, which almost makes you feel like it's maybe is it demonic? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's scary, dude. Like the voice that I heard, it scared all the hell out of me, dude. Like I'm not even gonna lie, it was creepy. I
Well,
couldn't get out of there fast enough.
and out of all the cases so far that we've been involved with, this one in particular makes me starting to think
Yeah, I'll tell
that
you
it could
what,
be
it
very well
affected me.
possible.
It affected me deeply when that little girl died. I was devastated. I never ever really thought that that would happen. Doing this, us trying to help people, and a little kid dies. 14-year-old girl dies. Um, that really messed my head up for a while. I was out of the game, man, for
Yeah.
what 2 years. I didn't do anything.
Right.
I was almost afraid to to do anything. You
Well,
know,
and I could
of. that there's
And
something
I
there that can actually hurt someone. You know what I mean? Like they said it was a heart attack, but you can die from fright of a heart
right,
attack,
right,
especially if you have an undiagnosed heart disease and something scares you as much as it was scaring her. I mean, dude, I used to get calls in the middle of the night. She would call me and they would be screaming that the lights are going on and off, and I'm like, I felt so helpless because I was so far away. I'm almost 5 hours away from where they live. You know what I mean? By
yeah,
the time I get
yep,
there, the activity is most likely going to be, ceased by then. You know,
yeah,
and I'm just like, and a lot of times I was working out of town, and they're calling me and they're upset, and I'm just like, man, you need to get out of the house, get out of there.
and that's about all they could do. Yeah,
And they still live there. I don't know how they do it. Um, I guess now because they lost their daughter, that's kind of hard to move. You know what I mean? Like almost like you're leaving her.
yeah,
That's
I
that's
can
probably the
understand
way I
that.
would feel. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's a devastating thing. I mean, there's people who will always be in my heart, and they'll always be our friends too. So, and
yeah,
they want us to come back soon, sooner than later. Now, after they've seen this black thing on their back. Um,
yeah.
I I I don't know. It's a creepy house, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be one of those ones where you're going to be like, I don't like it in here. I'm telling you, man. I don't like it in there.
Yeah,
It freaks me out when I go in there, man. Um, it's really freaky. Like I don't
worse
want
than
anybody to be alone in the
is
house.
it?
Like
Now is that worse than Westminster?
it's it's up there with it.
Yeah.
I say it's number two.
Okay.
Yeah, number two of being frightened of what it can do.
Yeah.
It's very smart, man. Like it knows what scares you. But that's the bad part about it. Is like it knows what scares you, and it likes to get you alone to do it. Because it
You
got
see,
my ass in that bathroom, and I'm telling you what, dude. I I heard that voice in my ear, man. I could not get out of there fast enough, dude. It was the creepiest sounding voice. Oh, God, dude. I can still hear it
it's
to this day, man. And the bad part is Ryan caught it on audio. He didn't catch the part. He caught the same voice later on in the night, but the voice that I heard, like I said, it said there are many, but I am one. And dude, it was just the creepiest sounding voice you're ever gonna hear in your life, dude. Ugh, dude, it was
Hmm.
creepy, man. It was totally creepy. I tell you, man, I almost pissed myself. Like I
I
was
can
taking a
imagine.
leak.
I
I
probably would
was
have did the
taking
same thing.
Dude, I was taking a leak. I got out of that bathroom. I was like, man, I hope the camera didn't see me with my junk in my hand running down the stairs, dude, because I couldn't get my clothes. Couldn't get my junk in my pants fast enough to get out of that bathroom, dude. I was like, holy shit, what is
Yeah.
going on, dude? Oh my god,
But
I've never experienced anything like that. You know what I mean? Like to get up
yeah,
close and personal like that. It was. It's almost like you feel the breath, man, in your ear. It was that close, like
thank God you
someone.
weren't doing. Thank God you weren't
Oh
doing the
man,
number two.
yeah, dude, dropping the deuce, you'd have been. Oh my god, that would have been horrible. And I never knew that they had experiences in the bathroom because she never really said anything about it. You know what I mean? But after I told her what happened, she says, "Oh yeah, we always feel like there's something in the bathroom." And I'm like, "Pfft, I ain't never gonna take a leak in there again. Like, I'll
Yeah,
I'll go outside, man. Like I'm not even. I'm not gonna do it.
yeah. Or put some
Oh my
earplugs in.
god. Oh, Ashley says she has so many paranormal events, great EVPs, like another great. What kind of stuff you've been having going on, Ashley? You can call in if you want. Um, yeah, dude. I mean, creepy ass place, dude. All
But
the
see to
Lizzie
me that
Bordens, yeah.
but see to me that's another sign of demonic type of activity. If you think about it, I'm not saying that that's demonic, but I'm just saying there's similarities from what I've heard. Like I said, is trying to wear somebody down. And this kind of what stuff is going on in there just has some similarities. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a lot of concerning things.
I mean, Jesus, dude. Like some of the things that that happened and transpired in that house, like Carl getting pulled back in the chair, and Carl's like the biggest skeptic ever, man. And when he got pulled back, dude, it opened his eyes to like there's definitely some forces that you know you don't know the strength of them. You know what I mean? That's why I always hear a lot of people talking about, "Well, if I see something black, I'm running right at it." Man, you're full of it, man. Look, dude, I've seen them like 3 or 4 different times, and I wasn't running at them because one, you don't know the capability and the strength that they have. They could possibly
No.
kill you. You know what I mean?
Right.
What are you gonna go at something supernatural for when you don't even know what the hell it is?
Yeah.
That's dumb. That's dumb on your part. If you do and you get hurt, then
Yeah.
that's pretty not a very smart thing to do. To
See,
film
people
it
said that.
is one
People
thing,
say
but to
that.
actually challenge it is something else. You
Yeah,
know?
and then people will say that, but then when it actually happens to them, it's a whole different ball game. You know what I mean? Because as soon as you
Yeah,
see something in front, you don't know what you're gonna do until that moment happens to you.
dude. Let's look at the train station when I seen that thing come through the wall and I bailed out of there, dude. I was like, dude, yeah, it was coming right at me, man. I don't know what the hell I was gonna do. All I know was I wasn't gonna stand there to find out. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not afraid of new man personally, up physically, but these things are not physical. You can where you can grab them and fight with them. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, you're
what's
dealing with
what's
the unknown.
yeah, dude. Like you could get killed possibly. It's this is we don't have the slightest idea of what the hell's going on with these things. You know what I mean?
No,
We really
no.
don't.
I mean, most of what we deal with on a regular basis is just, in our opinion, is people that have passed away. Their spirits are left there for some reason, and that's mostly what we deal with. But there could be other things out there that we're not aware of.
Yeah.
And let's use the D word. This, for example, if there is demons out there, that's the last thing we want to do is run into that, in my opinion. Especially if it's pretty, is doing a lot of things that are on the safest way. As far as throwing things at you or getting very violent.
You've had
Uh,
things thrown at you, so I mean,
yeah, but to me that was more, I don't know, mischief. It almost
yeah,
seemed like it was just, I don't know if it was just annoyed by me. I just wanted me to get out of
yeah. I
there for
mean, we weren't
some
really
reason.
doing anything. We were just like sitting in
No,
the dark. You know?
and after a while, like things that happen to you, I got kind of annoyed. I'm like, dude, stop throwing things at me. It's like, what is your problem? So I'm like talking to something that I don't even know is there. But the first thing you want to do is try to defend yourself. But what are you going to do?
Dude, that was so
Okay.
funny. You're like, ow.
that thing that thing hit me so hard I didn't even realize. I don't know, I was just so stunned about the whole thing. I just couldn't believe it. And
Yeah,
right
you're
away I
like,
was just blaming
blame it
you
on
because
me. Yeah.
I'm like, blame on you because that's the first thing I'm like, there's no way that just happened to me. you know.
You're like, John, did you throw that battery? I'm like, dude, I can't even see like 2 inches in front of my face. To hit you would be like winning the Mega Millions, dude. Like, no.
Yeah, I'm thinking because when it first happened, I'm like, no, there's no way he did that. There's no way he could have possibly did that. But then I
I
turned
was
around and
sitting
still
all the way
blamed.
up front.
Yeah, but I still blamed it on you because I didn't know what else to think at the time.
Yeah,
You know,
what's really cool is that was my battery.
that's what was even weirder. The fact
Yeah.
that it came like halfway from the middle of that fort all the way to where we were to hit me. It just was crazy. And then to turn around and have, the next two casemates down, to have like what sounded like a rock being thrown up against the door.
Yeah, that was pretty
It's
loud.
just, that was a crazy night.
But you remember in the case me, remember it turned the laptop on and started playing music, remember? That
Yeah, I
Civil
do.
War music.
That
I
scared
was
the
like,
shit out of me.
dude, man, it was like quiet as shit. Next thing you know, that music kicked on super loud. Man, I almost freaking jumped out of my shoes. I was like, whoa.
Oh,
There was
speaking of
no
that,
there was no explanation for that, dude.
no. And speaking of that, by the way, we will be doing that again November because I do have that
Yes.
CD still.
Yeah, we are going back to Fort Mifflin in November. Let's see, somebody wants to call in. Ashton. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
I was listening to your paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up in a very, very haunted house,
Nice.
and then has followed me since, and I'm 30 years old. But those things, it is real.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
Yep.
people say that they maybe not hear things. I got a really good EVP that I play on Castbox usually because I use a different phone for that platform.
Okay.
Um, but my mom and I were in the Stanley, and we were talking, and I was like, "Can you hear me?" And my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, talk louder." And I was like, "Okay, humor me." And I was like, "Can you hear me?" Really loud, and it goes, "I can, but barely."
Wow.
So we got that one, which was really, really great. And then there's video of me blowing out candles on my birthday, and you see my hair fly up, like the back of my head, because someone hit me upside the back of my head.
Whoa.
Wow.
And then my dad would be like, "Ashton, go to bed." Well, I wasn't up. I was in bed. We had water beds, so you could tell, that the bed was moving if you got up or down. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't us. And my dad didn't believe at the time. Now he does. But yeah.
Where do you live at?
Colorado.
Colorado. Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of like Native American stuff out there?
Yeah, I guess there is. A lot of people ask that question. I haven't done my research on it, but I guess there is.
Do they? We did a case where there was Native Americans, and we actually had a Native American word said out loud, disembodied. It said Shasta. It sounded like a woman. It went Shasta. I was like, what the hell was that? And Carl's like, it sounded like it said Shasta Cola or something. I'm like, no, dude, it said Shasta. It was pretty cool. And it means like life or something like that, or in Native American, it meant like life or something. It was weird, man. It was a totally weird place. That was in where the hell were we at? Ohio. We were in Ohio. It sounds like you've been all over the place, huh, Ashton?
Yeah, a bit.
I would love to go to the Stanley Hotel. That'd be cool.
We go every Halloween. We go to the Stanley.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What'd you have
But
happen there?
No, no,
You never had anything happen there?
Nothing at all.
No. Like my mom takes photos and things, and you see quote unquote orbs. I don't know if I believe in that or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
Wow. That's pretty cool, though. At least you live in a haunted house. I wish I lived in a haunted house. Sometimes my house is haunted. It goes away, though.
Growing up, it wasn't fun.
Oh, I bet. As a little kid, it's probably scary.
Yeah, my dad would close the bedroom door, like our bedroom doors, when we were in trouble. And that was probably the scariest thing ever. You'd never close the doors. And then, we had a humidifier in the hallway. So when someone walks by it, it goes, woom, woom. Because it catches the breeze.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, we always could hear that. And I would stay awake night after night. Just, yeah. My dad believes now, but he didn't at the start.
That's good.
That's the thing. Yeah, you would never have any privacy.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. That's awesome. This is the first time listening to the show.
I've came in your show before.
Oh, okay, cool.
But Jimmy,
if you want to play some EVPs or something like that, let me know.
Jimmy Rain, I give him most of my EVPs. He plays them because I get quite a few. I got some good ones from the Lizzie Borden house.
Yeah, I like to go there.
Yeah, the Stanley, of course, because I live right next to it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. I always wanted to go to the Stanley.
Well, we do have the luxury.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say we have that luxury of going to Gettysburg anytime we want.
Wow.
Yeah, we're not too far from there.
See, that's where you can catch some really good EVPs.
We
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
We caught some pretty awesome EVPs out of there. Gunfire. You had a lot of phantom cannon fire and gunfire. We seen something one time there. You seen that white thing over the wall, wasn't it?
Yeah, that thing was like white as like a sheet, but it almost reminded me of the size of maybe like a fairly big rabbit, but then it just disappeared.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know what it was.
And I heard a disembodied voice like right after that too.
Yeah.
When my grandfather passed away, that night, he kept flipping the lights on and off, on and off, on and off. And
Wow.
we yelled, my mom and my sister and I, we were like, Mom, Mom, because we were so afraid. And she saw him. And then she just turned the light off and told us to go to bed. And then years later, she told us that she saw him.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's weird that like not too long ago I just did an episode on like the dead like family members calling after they passed away. It happened to me and not too long ago, a couple weeks ago it actually happened right before Mother's Day and it was totally weird.
I got muted, so I'm going to go. But you guys have
Oh,
a
there you go.
lovely
Yeah, we hear you.
evening. No, you're good. You
There we go.
muted me, so you're good.
You there?
You guys enjoy
You
your
there?
show.
Hello? There she is. You there?
No, I'm good. You guys muted me.
Oh yeah, just so we hear the wind when we're talking. That's all. You hear like
Yeah, it's
we're
cool.
hearing like a
You could've just
reverb.
said
Yeah.
that. You could have
Yeah.
just said that. But I'm going to go. Have a good one.
Okay. You too. Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely a weird thing that happened, man. Totally weird. I got a missed call. I was in the work, and I came out, and there was a missed call, and I was like, "What the hell is this missed call?" And it was from my cousin, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell was that? Why is she calling my phone? I'm thinking something, happened or something like that. And with a family member, with my cousin actually, because he was battling drug addiction, but he's doing a lot better now. And I was like, why would she call? And I don't even have her number actually, in my phone. And I'm like, why the hell would she call? So I called the number back, and she didn't answer. And then I called again and she didn't answer. And I'm like, okay, it was kind of weird. So then at
Yeah.
like 2 o'clock, she calls me and she said, who is this? I'm like, this is your cousin. And she's like, okay, so why are you calling my phone? You didn't leave a message or anything. I'm like, you called my phone at like 10:27 and didn't leave a message or anything. I was just wondering what's going on. And she's like, uh, I don't know. I didn't call you. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on? She's like, I don't know. I didn't call you. I'm like, well, your name's on the phone and here it is. And you're calling. She's like, no, didn't call you. I was asleep. And I'm like, wow, that was kind of weird. And it came up under her maiden name. And she's been married for like 6 years or something like that.
Wow. That's
And it
strange.
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't, she doesn't have her cell phone bill in her maiden name. And I don't know, man. It was like my aunt kind of maybe trying to call through. I wish I would have been there to answer the call, actually.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool to see if you would have heard anything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I only muted you because it was just doing, when I was talking, it was coming through a reverb. That's all. Not trying to be smart or anything like that. Because I think you have to have, with Podbean, you have to have a pair of headphones on or something uh, when you call in. If not, you get like a double, like a reverb kind of thing. It's nothing like being smart with you or anything like that. Um, but yeah, it was a weird event, man. Like I just couldn't explain it. Totally weird.
It definitely sounds weird.
Yeah, like she was like, I never called you. I was asleep. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't get it, man. I didn't get it at all. It was weird.
Yeah.
She couldn't explain it either. She's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know either because I don't have her number and she didn't have mine. So I haven't talked to my cousin in years, so it's kind of weird.
I
I
would say
can't
so.
explain it. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't explain it, dude. I was blown away by it, actually. Well, it's been an interesting show, man, for sure.
Heck yeah.
Good callers. We had
Definitely.
Ashton calling in, Linda called in. No, Linda kept getting booted out for some reason. I guess because of the overseas thing or something, or Podbean. I don't know. Podbean's kind of acting goofy here lately.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, I like the show about demonic possession. We're gonna have Archbishop Frey on probably next week. But I'm trying to get Jeff Wheatcraft on with
Yeah.
the um, San Pedro haunting, the guy that was hung in the attic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah. I can't wait to hear that one.
yeah. I actually have his number. I tried calling him tonight, but he didn't answer. So I'll have to move voicemail. Hopefully he calls back. But he's gonna come on the show. I just did Barry Conrad. Um, he was part of the San Pedro haunting, and he went into a lot of insight with the case, and he's into like the Mothman stuff too. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Looking forward to it.
yeah, yeah, hell yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a pretty good episode with Jeff Wheatcraft. I want to talk to him for years, man. So to get him on the show is going to be really cool.
Yeah, I would just like to hear what happened to him on that case. Get his perspective on it.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only person I know who's ever been hung in the attic by a ghost.
Yeah,
So.
and hopefully it won't be me.
I tried to talk to him about, I'm going to send Barry Conrad a message. If he ever goes back to that house, dude, I'll fly out there.
Yeah, that'd be
I'll
cool.
fly out to California, man. I don't care. That don't bother me. To go investigate that place.
Yeah,
I'll go there.
it'd be worth it.
The
Be
activity
worth it.
followed them home too, right?
Yeah, I remember them talking about that
Yeah,
on the
yeah. The
podcast.
activity, the activity followed them home for quite a bit of time. It actually threw uh, scissors and stuff like that, and I think at one point they threw scissors like through it went through the pillow or something like that. Yeah,
Sheesh.
yeah, really weird, man. Totally weird. But yeah, man, it was a good episode. Thanks for coming on with me, Don. I appreciate it, and thanks for all the people that called in, Ashton and Linda and Woody. Uh, Very cool show, man.
Yeah,
Gonna have more
definitely. Thank
about
you.
demonic things, and I can't wait to talk to the Archbishop and get his whole perspective on the demonic possession. You know?
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to hear
Yeah,
what he
yeah,
has to say.
yeah. Well, folks, we're gonna wrap this up for tonight. Thanks for tuning in, and listening, and all the callers that called in. I appreciate it. And please come back and let's talk some more about some paranormal stuff in the future. You guys have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. Night all.
That will conclude our broadcast of the Paranormal Journal podcast. Have a great night.